भाजपा और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी और हमारे मुख्यमंत्री दिल्ली केजरीवाल जी की कुंडली मिलाई जाए तो उसमें 24 ग्रह होते हैं और 24 एक दूसरे से मिलते जुलते नजर आएंगे। इससे ज्यादा मिलती जुलती कुंडली किसी की नहीं होगी। दोनों बोलेंगे करेंगे कुछ।
BSF has foiled an attempt of Pakistan to smuggle weapons into the Indian territory and have recovered a huge cache of arms and ammunition in the Firozpur sector. It was yesterday evening at around 7 in the evening when the BSF troops that were deployed in the forward area saw a suspected bag, and upon the search they have recovered 3 AK-47 rifles along with the 6 magazines. 3 AK mini rifles, the brand of that is yet to be ascertained, along with the 5 magazines, and 3 pistols along with the 6 magazines have been recovered. The Border Security Force has also recovered a huge cache of ammunition with 200 rounds, 100 rounds of the AK-47 rifles and 100 rounds of the pistol. The pistol is of the Brita made that have been recovered now by the BSF. Pakistan is continuously pushing narcotics and weapons into the Punjab for gangsters and the terrorists so as to destabilize the state, and the events that are happening in the Punjab clearly hints at a larger plot of Pakistan. With Gaurav Sahani, Gursimran Singh for Republic Media Network.
At the United Nations meeting in Mumbai shares intricate details bearing the Mumbai terror plot before the world.
मैंने एक शख्स को देखती हूँ जिसके हाथ में बड़ी सी गन है, उसके चेहरे पे कोई डर नहीं था। हम लोगों को मार के उसे खुशी मिल रही है।
This forum is very appropriate to bring attention to the issue of fighting terrorism.
Tech fog fakery out. Editors Guild takes a wishy-washy stand. Is the Editors Guild providing an exit route to the wire? Wire exposed, but no condemnation from the Editors Guild. Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Elon Musk completes his Twitter takeover, sacks the top Twitter officials, including the CEO, Parag Agarwal.
Rahul Gandhi was waded into the poaching controversy, saying that the TRS and the BJP are two sides of the same coin.
Fire has broken out in a godown in Kurla area of Mumbai. 8 fire tenders have been deployed.
Brazen sexist rant against women in politics.
பிஜேபி இருக்கிற தலைவரா பாத்தீங்கன்னா 4 ஆயிட்டாங்க. இதுல ஒருத்தி சொல்ற அந்த குஸ்பூன் ஒருத்தி இப்படி தலையை கையில தூக்கிட்டு தாமரை மலர்ந்தே தீரும் தமிழ்நாட்டில்.
National anger grows as chauvinism stands exposed. Debating tonight at 10 p.m.
Fire that broke out in Kishtwar of JNK. The attempts are still on to douse the fire.
The Kerala secretary of the PFI, C.A. Rao, has been arrested. The national capital's oldest Chhat Puja ghats are taken care of so that people can celebrate in a clean environment.
Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Arnab Goswami on The Debate at 9. Presented by Amity University. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group and Century Ply.
Good evening and welcome, viewers. Just minutes back, the government of India finally did a great thing. It changed the IT intermediary rules. Simple English, from now on, big tech, Twitter, Facebook, Insta, all these big billion-dollar companies for whom India is the biggest market, they all have to now quietly comply with India's laws and India's constitution, and I'm loving it. These American companies like Facebook and Twitter can no longer do whatever they want in India and claim they will comply with Silicon Valley rules. If they don't comply, they are free to get out, pack up, leave our country. You want to make money in India, you follow India's rules. This is the new approach, and viewers, I like this approach. Things have to change in our country. There has to be a quantum shift. Approaches have to change. We've got to learn to be more direct about what we want. For example, last night I said that you cannot have an American citizen, a Chinese citizen, a Nicaraguan citizen becoming an editor, quasi-editor, CEO, quasi-CEO of an Indian news media setup, however big or small this is. In fact, I think, viewers, don't you agree with me? We must start an investigation now on which foreign citizens and green card holders are presently in important positions in India's news organizations. And let me take you in on a secret. Recently, I came to know of one case where, because a particular Lutyens channel was under scrutiny from the investigating agencies, the channel's CEO had to symbolically step aside when the issue of foreign nationality came up. My point is simple. These people who abuse India the most, who question India the most, who say they are the armchair critics of this country, who say it is their right under India's democracy to question the country, of course it is their right. But first I say to them, you must be an Indian citizen. You must first be vested in India. If you don't seek, like for a long time, Sonia Gandhi never sought Indian citizenship. And if you don't accept Indian citizenship, then you cannot play any significant role in Indian news media. Would Americans allow Indian citizens to run their news media? Would they, viewers? Would the pseudo-libs answer the question, please? I'm asking them the question. They want us to be woke and lib about it. Would the wokes and the libs in Washington allow Indian tech giants to control the narrative in America and not be answerable to American laws? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We should not either. That is the point. And taking this point further is the case of this dubious organization called The Wire. Now, this Wire has been caught red-handed in a dirty and deplorable case of the worst form of editorial fabrication. Editorial fabrication, ladies and gentlemen, manufacturing of evidence. This is not the kind of thing that journalists should be doing. Is this propaganda site also subject to Indian laws or not? Why is the Lutyens media ecosystem trying to save this organization? Why? The editor's guilt of India, as Sohail said, described them yesterday, is now fighting internally. I'm told there's a big fight which has broken out within the editor's guilt of India on how to justify or not justify their wishy-washy, pathetic retraction of their statement, which is based on The Wire's fake story. Viewers, The Wire, the editor's guilt of India, they're all manifestations of a Lutyens hypocrisy. They speak from the pulpit, but they avoid the close gaze which we provide on their lack of ethics and their double standards and their hypocrisy. And I say we, viewers, you and I, are we not going to change things? Isn't this a time for change? Aren't you loving it? Aren't you loving it that Twitter and Facebook are subject to the laws that you abide by? Won't you love it, ladies and gentlemen, when we turn the mirror on the pathetic, hypocritical Lutyens media ecosystem? I say, put the mirror onto them, turn the mirror onto them, put the mirror onto them and put them under a microscope of ethics. Let us see who stands being exposed or not. For now, tonight, The Wire is completely exposed. But the Editors Guild of India issues a mix-off statement and they're fighting internally about it. That's debate number 1. And debate number 2 tonight. The BJP's Khushbu Sundar takes on the sexist DMK Neta who called her an item and worse. Debate number 2 and debate 3 tonight. Trump accepts that there's been a Hindu Holocaust, a Hindu genocide, says he's going to build a memorial for it. But where are the parties and all those pseudo-libs in India who fail to acknowledge the atrocities? That's debate 3 and here are the headlines. This Friday evening on the Debate Tonight. As more details emerge in the Wire fake news scandal, the biggest fake news story in the world, the Latvian media fighting amongst itself is blacking out the embarrassment. The Editors Guild loses its voice.
Left with no option other than to seek appropriate legal remedies against the Wire and its management and reporters.
BJP Amit Malviya to file a police complaint. Criminal action could follow. Completely expose the fabrication of evidence and editorial fraud by this organization. Big tech firms shown the rule book. They will now have to follow the Constitution of India, the rules of the India. The most disgusting and shameful sexist rant by a DMK leader, Khushbu Sundar, takes him on single-handedly. Trump promises Hindu Holocaust memorial even as political parties in India are silent. Big debate tonight.
18 members of the Indian police forces, 12 members of the Taj Hotel staff and security were martyred in the line of duty.
And India presents audio and tech-based evidence at the UN Terror Summit exposes Pakistan and China in one go. And ladies and gentlemen, we showed you how the Wire fabricated and almost fraudulently put out fake stories after fake stories, fake evidence, fake emails, fake screenshots, fake everything. Put out a series of fiction. The proof was out there, the allegations are massive, and yet, as this big fake news story, which is being described as the biggest fake news story in the world, the biggest fabrication editorially in the world, comes out, the Editors Guild of India, as many people are beginning to call it, refuses to issue a clear condemnation. Latvians wants to go soft and slow down and save a member of their own brigade. But tonight the amplifiers and the enablers of these lies cannot take a wishy-washy stand anymore because Republic is calling them out. Let's debate.
It was the biggest fake news story. It may just be the most grave case of journalistic malpractice. The Wire is exposed and all set to face legal action.
On October 11, 2022, Meta's communication head, Mr. Andy Stone, issued a categorical denial and stated that the documents presented by the Wire in its report were fabricated and that the exchequer status had been mischaracterized. Consequently, I am left with no option other than to seek appropriate legal remedies against the Wire and its management and reporters.
First, we addressed our questions to the founding editor of The Wire, who refused to take any questions. Then we dialed Wire's ombudsman, who once again said that she wouldn't like to respond to any of our questions.
I had three specific questions with regards to the statement that has been put out by The Wire, which basically does not cover three aspects. Number one, with regards to why exactly wouldn't The Wire bring in a technical expert on a story which requires proof from the third party?
These are all important questions and they will be answered at some point. But at the moment, I'm not going to speak on this.
The Editors Guild of India had issued an elaborate statement on tech fog 290 days ago. They wanted government and judicial action on the basis of the Wire's story.
Now, in a meek U-turn, the Editors Guild of India issues a statement which effectively gives an exit route to the Wire. Not a single line of condemnation, In fact, the Editors Guild of India refuses to call out India's biggest journalistic malpractice.
In fact, the entire ecosystem that enabled the wire has gone silent now. From defending so-called fact-checkers in the Delhi police net, to silence on fake news peddled by Lutyens. Much has been overlooked, but can the biggest case of fake news be ignored? Let's debate.
My first question is to a gentleman called Kaustubh Deka. He is a columnist for The Wire. Majid Haidari, Tausif Ahmed Khan, Sunit Chopra, Abhijit, Smita, Tushar and Sanju, welcome. Kaustubh, even after this pathetic, lowbrow, dirty, deplorable, hypocritical, deliberate, voluntary, fabrication, fraud that has been put out by this organization, which is the biggest fake news story in the world, will you continue to write for an organization of such editorial standards? In fact, if I may say so, if you don't mind, no standards at all, no standards at all, an organization which says it's going to go through its own internal processes, but the fact is that across the entire world, what it has done is being called out for being deliberate, right? Would you still write for this kind of a setup? Would you still write for them?
See, Arnab, actually, what I write for Wire or not, that is, I think, not so relevant. But what is relevant for now is that it is a very serious matter. And let me put it on record and very straight that it is absolutely condemnable. And it is something that needs to be thoroughly looked into by all concerned authorities.
Dr. Deka, it's a case of, as you will realize, you see, we can understand editorial mistakes. What I cannot understand is, I hate to say this actually, it's embarrassing to say this, is forgery. Forgery is a very serious matter. Forgery and fabrication of evidence.
It is absolutely.
You can misquote someone. But forgery?
It is, but let me just
clarify that. An organization that claims to be an editorial organization carrying out forgery of documents?
Yeah, no, that is absolutely subject to investigation by any concerned authorities.
No, there's nothing to investigate. They've owned up.
The Wire here.
No, what's there to investigate? I thought they owned up, Smita. Haven't they owned up? They've owned up for it. There's nothing to investigate anymore.
No, but the larger question, the only thing I want to place...
Just a minute. They've owned up. No, I'll come to the larger question. I'll come to the larger question. Don't give them an exit clause here. Don't give them an exit clause. They've owned up. They've owned up. So this is very serious. Let me get Smita in. They've owned up. They've totally owned up, haven't they?
Yes. They've owned up and they've issued some kind of a watery apology to their readers, supposedly, if there are any. But no apology to the people they have harmed. No apology to the country they have harmed, because after this report came out on tech fog and the others that they have done, which was further amplified on that Freedom House, which gives certification to countries whether they are free, not so free, absolutely free, those kind of what should I say, degrees that they are allotting. Because, sometimes many of us think, kya farak padta hai? So what if these guys say that we are not free? We know we are free. But it matters because when countries, like the WAPO, when newspaper outlets like the Washington Post and Bloomberg and all that, when they say that India is not free, then it impacts on those countries where they are reporting from. So when they say, when European nations or when Western nations, when there are investors sitting out there, they want to invest in India, they look at these indices. And when these indices show that we don't have freedom in our country, it impacts. So these articles which came out, which were fraudulent, fake, as you rightfully pointed out, why did they come out? The reason that they came out and then they say apology, why do they do that? They do that because they've been caught in the act and somebody has brought them out.
I'll
Till
tell
they are
you.
caught, till then they keep doing this.
Smita, I give the example of a murderer and a private detective. Let me explain this to you. And it's an analogy. I don't want Lutyens media ecosystem to overreact to me. Suppose there's a murder. Then the murderer comes and says, when caught, I concede I murdered, but I am evaluating the process of why I murdered, and I am going to counsel myself so as to try not to murder in the future. Then in comes the private detective, in this case the Editors Guild of India, and says, the murder has been committed. The murder has been committed. We said that there was no murder. We now concede that a murder has been committed. And we also compliment the murderer for going through the process of internal evaluation on why the murder happened. But we would like to point out the larger issue on why murders are happening in society. You look at the Editors Guild statement. Their statement is on why murders are happening in society. They put it onto society. So in this case, the Editors Guild says, I love this phrase, by the way. Sohail had me in splits last night. He kept saying Editors Guild of India. It's fantastic because it's such a hypocritical, double-edged, double-faced like Janus kind of setup. You know, it speaks one thing and looks in another direction. It's so hypocritical. Anyway, most of them are not even editors. The point, however, is, who's trying to give them an exit route? Abhijit, who's trying to give them an exit route? I don't want us to give them an exit route.
Arnab, see, the wire is a very small part of this. They've all decided to jump on the wire in whatever minimal way. The way, an aircraft, when it is painted by the radar, it releases chaff to confuse the incoming missile. The real missile is this entire Lutyens cabal. Do you remember when the tech fog story came out, how many of these people, including so-called alleged tech journalists, were going gaga over it and validating it? There is a news portal that roughly rhymes with Dhobi, who literally make their money parodying you and your news clips. They literally declared Devesh Kumar and his accomplice Ayushman Kaul the last time round to be Sakshat 10th incarnation of Vishnu. And in a premium content podcast that they did, they virtually recited the Vishnu Sahasranamam to them. Okay. Today, because they get a lot of money from Facebook.
I don't know of them. I've never heard of such journalists. I don't know of these people.
Anyway,
let's talk about some
today,
serious people.
Because they get a lot of money from Facebook for their media jumble or tumble or whatever it is.
Let's not talk about comedians here. Can we talk? Let's not talk about comedians. Let's get into the heart of the matter.
The problem here is everybody validated that story. Do you remember that? Here, why did they turn against the story? Because the Western digital media called out all the loopholes in this. This shows you that the so-called Indian technical media is a complete fraud. It is a purchased fraud that doesn't even know the one thing that it is meant to know, which is its own technical this thing. Do you know what the basis of that tech fog story was? 2 screenshots and a video claiming that this thing had been hacked. Now, I can also claim, can you see anything on this phone? This is just your studio calling me. But I haven't called you. You have used Tech4 to hack my phone and you are manipulating my phone into calling you. You have turned on my camera. I can say this. Are you going to run an expose on this? There were people, this was the basis of that story. Mind you, this is not the first instance of forgery and lying where the explanation has always been, trust me, bro. I know, bro. Mera sabut asli sabut hai, bro.
It's a routine case.
Remember, Rana has so far been peddling lies based on absolutely no evidence in spite of being given a platform to publish her tapes. Galwan, or this so-called intrusion, did you see any satellite evidence of intrusion? No. Do you remember that Rafale paper that appeared 2 days running on the front page of a major newspaper that was selectively censored, essentially manipulated document? And the left-wing's favorite fact checkers who are actually endorsed tech fog, endorsed the tech fog story, didn't even know how to look at a manipulated document.
Can I get just 30 seconds to burst the bubble? Arnab, may I come in?
One second. Yeah, burst the bubble. Come on, burst the bubble.
Burst away.
Burst
Sir,
away.
it's a simple case of digital human error where we need to treat Wire as the victim. Because at the first instance, who has planted the black sheep in Wire so that the BJP and Amit Malavia get manipulated?
Planted?
Because we have seen in the past, NDTV reports also getting falling prey to such these
Arnab, I need
cancers
to
online.
come in now.
No. But how come has somebody planted a black sheep?
Even the Wire is not saying this, or no. Even the Wire is not saying that it's been planted on them, whereas Mr. Majid Memon is saying that it's been planted on them. There is a limit to the number of people who will come to rescue Wire, even though Wire doesn't want to be rescued. Look at this amazing ecosystem.
There was deception. They were deceived.
Wire can't speak this language. Wire can't speak this language. I can speak this language because I see the mischief.
How can
I
you?
see the mischief against the Wire.
One minute. Just one.
Wire
I have a
has
question.
said
I have a
that it was a
Tawsif. I have a question.
Deception
One
is
minute.
different. What he said.
Can I give a one-line counter to this? Now they are saying, viewers.
Arnab, may I come in?
Sanju, just coming to you. I know you're going to walk out if I don't come to you in 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds, I'm coming to you. I have to say my next line. They are saying, poor us, we have been deceived. We were not fooling you, we were fooled ourselves. Now, were you fooled? No, 1 minute. Majid, let me counter. Let me counter. Were you deceived in the Judge Loya case? Were you deceived on Pegasus? Were you deceived on Rafale?
Case of deception.
No, were you deceived on all those cases? Or is it the fact, Majid? Is it the fact that now that you've been exposed completely for what you are?
No.
You're a bunch of liars. Now that you've been exposed for being the bunch of liars you are, you're looking for an exit route. And the editor's Guild of India wants to give you that exit route.
Amit Malavia is the biggest fake story peddler in the country today. Amit Malavia is the biggest fake story peddler in the country today. Up till 2 years ago, there were 16 instances, and I can count them if you allow me to. When it came to Shaheen Bagh protest, he said that they were being served biryani and 500
Yes,
rupees.
they were being served
that
biryani.
It was sponsored by Congress. He said that. Protesters of CAA in Lucknow chanted Pakistan Zindabad. He said that. AMU student chanted Hindu
Can I have the
ki
top
Kabul
band?
Khudegi. Again, a fake news. A speech of Arfa Khanam, who was a journalist associated with Wire. Her speech were distorted by Amit Malavia and presented in a distorted way. In order to please Narendra Modi, Amit Malavia said that Modi is the first head of state to visit Kumbh Mela. Well, he does not know head of state means president, and the first president to visit was Rajendra Prasad, and the first prime minister to visit Kumbh Mela was Nehru himself. So, various instances, and I'm only mentioning only few. There was misinformation ahead of the Kejriwal then again a misinformation ahead of polling in West Bengal. He said Rahul Gandhi visited Gurmeet Ram Rahim. Dera Sacha Sauda. Again a misinformation. Another misinformation that Rahul Gandhi signed Somnath Temple register as a non-Hindu. He said he attempted to portray Nehru as an immoral person by adding some of his pictures in his Twitter. He said, there's a long list. And Arnab, you will know, your research team know more, will have all these stories with themselves only if you allow them to share it.
I wish to tell you. Just one minute. Now, Tawsif, stop now. Thank you. I'll put the fader down. Okay, I put the fader down. Now let's forget the humor. Let's realize the seriousness of this, Sanju. What I'm talking about is the biggest journalistic malpractice since independence. It has gone viral globally. It has been unchecked. You want to check how many French websites published this and defamed our country. They abused our country. They castigated our country. They said we are not even a democracy. Sanju, they said India is not a democracy. They said the government of India runs tech fog. By doing tech fog, it controls the minds and narrative of its billion-plus citizens. On the basis of this, foreign countries are saying India is half a democracy. And it is then said that there is an emergency-like situation in the country. Narendra Modi has become Prime Minister. It is a second emergency, and the Tech Fog story proves it. It is as serious as that, viewers. And if you have not read about the extent of this editorial malpractice, I strongly suggest that every viewer of Republic, every single viewer, apprises themselves on the fabrication that it is. And Sanju, the fact is, they hate us. For now, we've exposed them for what they are. We always knew they were liars, fabricators. But now, their lies are out there for everyone to see, and they don't know where to run away from. I don't think I'm going to let them run away, but they say that the BJP is nobody to question them. I want you to respond to that.
Yes. Arnab, I've been on a couple of debates since yesterday on this particular issue, and I've even brought up your issue on another channel. I mean, where was the editor's guilt of India, when Arnab Goswami was arrested, dragged to the police station in Taloja, and every single, norm that a free citizen lives by in a democracy was violated with rabid impunity. Where was the editor's guilt of India when women were being molested at the Singhu border during the farm protests? Where was the editor's guilt of India when last month Gokul Yadav, a journalist in Bihar who writes for Bihari and Hindi newspapers, was shot dead in broad daylight? Where was the editor's guilt of India when Mamata Banerjee in 2012 arrested Ambikesh Mahapatra for an innocuous meme, and he was a professor at Jadav University? And most importantly now, for all those people who troll the Modi government and certain journalists saying, ye to Govi media hai, I tell you what the Wire is. I have said this yesterday and I repeat. Wire should change its name to We Are For Hire. We are for hire, and we will ingratiate ourselves to the highest bidder. That is what the Wire does. And there is no such thing as Govi media, but there is certainly something called Dhongi media. The very Lutyens, Khan Market gang, which has been holding the flag for the likes of Siddiqui Kapan, a PFI sympathizer, is the very Lutyens gang which has refused to condemn the Wire for maligning the Modi government with malafide intent. And let me tell you, you make a mistake once, you make a mistake twice. But the Wire has been a repeat offender, from Rafale to Pegasus to the insurrection during Republic Day last year, to the farm protests, to even spreading disinformation about Covaxin at the height of the COVID second wave, saying that Covaxin is dangerous. Krishna Ella, the promoter of biotech, actually told Wire, take down that defamatory post against Bharat Biotech or we will file criminal proceedings. It was then that Siddharth Vardarajan took down that defamatory post. So these are habitual and repeat lies. And I just want to ask one thing. Or not 10 seconds.
Okay, Sunita.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
Today there's a tweet by the Editor's Guild of India posted at 9:51 a.m. I will just read out the last 4 lines. The Guild is also disturbed by the recent turn of events with respect to reports published by the Wire on Meta. The Guild is conscious of and emphasizes need for extra care in investigative journalism and urges newsrooms to resist temptation of moving fast on sensitive stories, circumventing due journalistic norms and checks. Signed by President of the Editors Guild, Seema Mustafa. Signed by Anant Nath, General Secretary. Signed by Shriram Pawar, Treasurer.
To be
I want to ask Seema Mustafa.
Journalists can't be IT-professionals.
Why has she not condemned Siddharth Vardarajan? Why has Seema Mustafa not condemned the Wire? She has simply said, we are disturbed by the turn of events. And look at the audacity of this Editors Guild. In January 2022, they told the Modi government, you are perpetuating misogyny. Please ensure that misogynistic tweets are dismantled, which even I support, being a woman and a bona fide citizen. But where is Seema Mustafa today?
No, you see
where is Shriram Pawar today? Where is Anant Nath today?
No, I'll tell you.
Why no condemnation for the Wire?
No, I tell
Why this mollycoddling of Siddharth Vardarajan?
Because he's...
Why this mollycoddling of Jahnavi Sen?
Because they're part of the same circuit. Because Sanju, they are part of the same circuit. You scratch my back, I scratch yours a little bit. We're all scratchy, happy. That's the kind of situation that they are in. And I want to tell you, you see Sunit
There
Chopra,
are different circuits and they're all the same.
Yeah, I know.
There are different circuits and they're all the same.
Exactly, like there's no difference between you and the urban Naxals either, for example.
And therefore, we can understand that the Editors Guild is not prepared to help one faker against another.
I don't. Can you explain this complicated statement you just made? It made no sense to me. Smita is there. Did you understand, Smita, what he said?
No, I don't know what he's
No,
trying to
it
say.
makes sense.
What,
because Sunita has given a long lecture which has no meaning.
I gave no lecture. That was I just didn't even speak. I spoke in the beginning.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something. You see, I'll tell you something. There are, the problem with the Lutyens ecosystem is that their vocabulary is very limited, Tushar. Their English is very poor. I can give them a demonstration of the use of proper English, the kind of similes, metaphors to be used. But I'll explain why, Smita. I'll explain why. They know few words. You know what the words are, Smita? I'll tell you what the words are. Severe danger. Severe danger. Democracy in danger. Citizen security violated. Fundamental rights violation.
It is.
Exploitation of public discourse. Defilement of democracy. Backsliding of democracy.
Of so many.
No. Let me give you a perfect example.
The people of Maharashtra.
Let me give you an example. Derek O'Brien at Trinamool MP, wrote to the chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Home in January this year, and he said, this country is in great danger because of the wire story. He said this, Tushar, he said, the very existence and usage of manipulative technologies like tech fog is a severe danger to national security, citizen security, public discourse, defilement of security, free speech in danger, manipulative technologies, country in danger, severe violation. And it was published everywhere, Smita.
So this is exactly what I'm saying. When you say that they don't know English or they don't know terminology, they very well do. They know the terminology, but they have this cognitive bias. Just like this person who's speaking over me, there is a cognitive bias they have. They have a confirmation bias. So these terms are ready to, just copy paste and put as soon as they want to pull down a particular
Look
government.
at Pamela Philippos. She's not even quitting. Look at Pamela Philippos. She's been a journalist, I'm told. I don't know anything about her. But she says she's an ombudsman. When Republic's reporter questions her, she runs away and puts the phone down. Why doesn't she quit? If she's an ombudsman, when this case is going on, why is Pamela Philippos sitting there as ombudsman of an organization who's destroyed its own credibility, whatever was left of it? In fact, there was none. I mean, if her staying on is itself an insult to the phrase ombudsman, I think. Her sticking on to that job is a shame on the word ombudsman itself, Tushar.
Arnab, the Wire in its midnight apology, hoping to not get noticed, said that the reportage they were doing for the last fortnight was not up to their editorial standards. I disagree. I think it was right up their editorial standards, just in accordance with them.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, Arnab, the Wire started like one of the protagonists from the Dan Brown novels on the search of a holy grail, that today we'll tell the citizens of India and the world that how the Modi government is suppressing your right to dissent online, that how Amit Malviya, one individual or one party in India, can control.
It is creating new laws which are
listen. Don't get rattled. Don't get rattled. Listen. They wanted to convince the people across the world that Amit Malviya alone can tell 3.5 billion users of Facebook, 2 billion users of WhatsApp, and another 2 billion users of Instagram what to post and what not to post, and could take down any social media post that was critical of the BJP. Now,
My
Arnab, I
dear
come to you
friend,
tomorrow.
Amit Malviya's story
Now,
was a
Arnab, I come to
complicated
you tomorrow.
algorithm going
This
wrong.
kind
No, it
of
is not
thing has been
complicated, sir.
happening for
No, it's
quite
not
some
complicated.
time.
No,
I'll break
was
it
a
down.
complicated
I'll break it
the
down.
governor
No,
of
no, no.
Kerala,
Because being it is
the
an IT
governor
expert
of
and you are
Kerala
in fact
is
generally
playing
an IT
the same
expert.
game.
So give them some benefit of doubt.
Sir,
It's a case of
sir,
error. It's not a crime. It's not a sinister design.
You
It was a
know, I had
complicated
a
algorithm
listen,
out of Meta,
listen,
which the
Mr.
Wire tried to
Complicated
report.
Algorithm, Mr. Complicated Algorithm, listen to me. Before I joined journalism, before I ventured into this world, I was a computer science engineer, spent 4 years in IT. The reportage the Wire did not even have the basic
My
computer
dear
program.
brother, same
Computer
here.
science
I
students are
come
taught
from software
in their
background.
first
I
year.
have been a
What
software
technical
programmer. So
difficulties
that is
you're
why I
talking
said it's a
about? What
complicated
technical
algorithm going
difficulties you're
wrong.
talking about? A week ago, they were experts in telling the world how social media works, how Meta can be manipulated, how servers
My
can be
dear
manipulated.
brother, I
A
also
week
come from
later-
IT background.
A week later,
I am an IELTS engineer.
A week later,
and I tell you that
no,
this is
you're
a
not.
complicated
No, no, a
algorithm
week
going wrong
later,
on the part of
it is
Meta
not.
because you can't
The
expect
only
journalists to be IT
the
professionals.
only
Give them some
complication
benefit
here,
of
the
doubt.
only complication
Jane
here
Nita
is-
Yaro can be
no,
the
the
best.
only
See,
complication
why
here
doesn't
is the
BJP
lag
show
of
some
virus
magnanimity over this? Why can't BJP say,
Why
okay,
should the
Jane,
BJP
why
show
are
some
BJP
magnanimity?
people helping
No,
to just
listen. So you agree
Okay,
that
this
the
is the
Wire
approach of the
reportage is wrong?
Lutyens system. I tell you.
Arnab,
This is brilliant. This is brilliant. They say,
Arnab, he says that the BJP should show some magnanimity. So is he admitting that the Wire was indeed wrong? That
They're admitting.
Wire
Yes,
was indeed
Sunil.
fabricated
They're
details.
admitting.
Is this an admission?
They're
Is this an
admitting.
admission?
Forgiveness is divine.
Forgiveness.
This is an admission.
Smita, no, one minute. He's begging forgiveness now. The side is begging forgiveness now. I say, are we going to forgive them, viewers? Are we going to forgive them?
Nobody's begging. Nobody's begging. You are blowing it out of proportion.
Who's judging and
It's
who's
a very
forgiving
simple
out
issue.
here? It's the
And I
courts
completely
now.
agree
It's
with
the
Arnab
courts.
here.
Arnab, before anything,
That
you
there
know,
should not be any
take
exit route.
action in their own way, as they have stated already.
You know, this man is blabbering without reason.
I don't know what
Arnab,
he's
can I
saying.
have
Yeah,
that in 10
exactly.
seconds?
There was nothing technical about
One minute. Let me get in
There was
Smita and
nothing-
Sanju on the left on the debate. I'll bring it back to order. I bring it back to order. And I can understand, Dr. Deka, it must be very embarrassing for you. I really, I don't know how you'll write for this place anymore.
Not at all.
But I don't
write
hold
for
you
many
responsible
other-
for what
I write
they've
for
done.
many other columns.
Yeah.
I write for many other newspapers.
Yes. I'm
don't
glad.
represent the Wire at all.
I'm glad. I'm so glad. Yeah. Smita wanted to make a point. Smita.
Yes, you see, when this whole question comes about, you spoke about armchair critics. There are many people who come on television who are probably armchair critics who talk about the media. That's fine. But the Editors Guild are not armchair critics. They are not. They're supposedly editors. But how many of them are actual
The
working
operational
editors?
word being supposedly.
They haven't held a job for God knows how many decades. And they sit out there in judgment.
Most of them don't.
They bring out these press statements telling us who are working in journalism day and night on how to do our journalism. This is the Editors Guild, which is now sitting and deciding on who is guilty, who isn't.
Well, let me tell you.
So this whole forgiveness thing,
They had a meeting yesterday. I'll tell you. They had a meeting. We did a show last night. I'll give you some inside details. I'll give you some inside details. I'll give you some inside details, Smita. There's a huge fight internally. I'm a reporter after all. There's a huge fight within the Editors Guild of India. They issued a statement at 6 o'clock in the morning. They sent it to all their members at 6 o'clock in the morning. By noon, they were fighting among each other. Why do we have to withdraw? Should we withdraw? Principally, we should not withdraw. So what if Republic is criticizing us? We should not withdraw. The point is, why do I want to expose these worthies?
They're not journalists anymore in that guild.
They're not. I mean, for God's sake, even Ashutosh, from the guy who tried to be a politician, Ashutosh, and Shobha De and all, they are the members of the Editors Guild of India.
How is Akar Patel?
How is Akar Patel of Amnesty in the Editors Guild of India? How is Shobha De on the Editors Guild of India? Which publication does Shobha De edit? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's hypocritical. It's really sad. The point is this. Okay, let's go back to the issue at hand. Tausif, come back to the debate. Tausif, see, I don't think a exit route can be given simply because this is not the first time. You see, they're repeat offenders, Sanju. Pegasus was a fraud story. Covaxin, the defamatory coverage on Covaxin, fraud story. In fact, In fact, the High Court had to order the removal of defamatory articles in the case of Bharat Biotech and Covaxin.
Exactly.
The Ghaziabad story was a fake story, non-existent communal angle, right? They buried clarifications on the Hoshiarpur story, fake story. They claimed the IMF figures, Sanju, about India's growth were fake story. What, you understand? So this, if we go soft on such a fake news factory, then we are enablers of the fake news. And we are not going to be. As simple as that. Sanju wanted to make a point. Sanju first and then Tausif. Debate back. Sanju first, then Tausif. We're on the debate. Yes,
Tausif, please, let me have my say, then you can rebut. Okay. Arnab, I think Tushar and Smita made some pertinent points. Just to add to what they said, this whole diabolical narrative to ensure that it was an oversight on the Wire's part, the reason why there is an angle of criminal conspiracy, fraud, cheating is best showcased by the fact that repeatedly between 5th October and 15th October, Andy Stone, the Chief Communication Officer of Meta, and then Guy Rosen, the Chief Information Security Officer and a cyber security expert himself, they kept telling the Wire that nobody from our end has sent emails to you or engaged with you. Imagine the impunity and audacity of the Wire team headed by Vardarajan. He kept saying that these emails are verifiable. They have been verified by cyber security experts. When Vardarajan was asked to name those cyber security experts to ensure that the emails he was speaking of were indeed authentic, do you know he could not name a single cyber security expert?
Shame!
Shameful. And then these people give lecture to India and to the Modi government on press freedom. Ulta chor kotwal ko dante, chori upar se sina jori. That is what Vardarajan, Janvi Sen and the likes of Devesh Kumar, who apparently is no longer with them, were up to. And look at again the audacity. Siddharth Vardarajan says, we were subjected to deception by Devesh Kumar. So basically they found a scapegoat in Devesh Kumar. Now Arnab Goswami is running Republic. The buck stops at the doorstep of Arnab Goswami.
Very well.
Does the buck not stop at the doorstep of Siddharth Vardarajan?
How the matter is being handled in Kerala, we know is this game.
Why are you getting rattled? Who are you? Why are you blabbering without any data? Are you the personal brand ambassador of Siddharth Vardarajan? Are you the personal brand ambassador of Devesh Kumar? Are you the personal brand ambassador of Janvi Sen? Chup ho gaye, baith jao.
Or no, let's assume for a moment, and it is not without basis given.
Okay. Abhijit and Tausif.
Internally, and they have found out that
given Devesh Kumar's past criminal bent of mind, where he has openly admitted to manipulating polls on Twitter, etc., creating bots, so on and so forth.
Must file a case.
The question is, why was Devesh Kumar even hired? How is it that people like Alt News, which are able to figure out everything about everybody, were not able to go look at an open Reddit post where Mr. Devesh Kumar openly admits to creating Twitter bots and things like that?
To unearth all the
why is it that a so-called fact checker cannot dig this up? It's open information. You can still go see it in Reddit. Devesh Kumar has wiped all his accounts. Now the question is, when you have a fellow who's been given a job only for having an ideological bent of mind with proven criminality or at least data manipulation, I don't know the extent of how much manipulation is criminality.
The Wire would be naturally
Tausif has this habit of speaking over everyone. Tausif, go on. Okay, let's hear Tausif. 1 minute. Tausif. I can't have 4 audio tracks together. Tausif, listen. There was a website.
No. You see, Arnab, I was supposed.
My question was
after Sanju. No, you. No, it's not your turn. After Sanju, I was supposed to speak. See, we all know that the kind of reporting Wire does, more of a exposing the lies being spread by team of Amit Malviya, And we have seen that there are several instances available where the wire has exposed the misinformation spread by Amit Malviya. And I have given you a count of at least 16
So you are saying your argument is Tausif. Your argument is Tausif. One minute. No, 1 minute. So if I understand you correctly, Tausif, if I understand you correctly, which I completely do, for I never get anything wrong, my question to you is, therefore, my question to you is, and Smita is here, he's saying, look here, he's saying tonight, the wire serves a certain political function. The Vadra Congress is dead, long live the wire. And therefore he says, if the wire defiles itself with the worst fabrications, we are still going to protect them. And that's exactly what the Editors Guild is also doing. Now, Smita is on the debate with you. Smita, two on the debate. Smita.
I just don't understand what these people come on the debate. One person is going on about the Kerala governor. The other person is going on about Godi media. What are you coming here on this channel for? Which debate? I don't understand. You got confused with the channel with the debate. The debate is about the wire fabricating a story which the wire has admitted that they fabricated. When they are saying ek ke baad ek, they have taken down stories, they have admitted that they were deceived, and deceived by who? Somebody that they only appointed. So I don't understand why you're sitting and defending the indefensible.
Yeah, sure,
nobody,
they were deceived.
not even this Editors Guild, which is so biased, not even they are defending, whereas these people are coming on TV channels and defending. Arnab, the point right now also is to look at these on these journalistic bodies which have sat above all this, and there's been an Omerta code in India whereby nobody discussed plagiarism, nobody discussed fake news, which was done
Okay,
by
I have one line to wrap up, and that is this, viewers. That is this. The wire says we were deceived. So Siddharth Varadarajan says he was deceived. Siddharth, tomorrow, like you, Vijay Mallya will say he was deceived. Like you, Siddharth Varadarajan, Mehul Choksi will say he was deceived. Like you, Mr. Varadarajan, Rana Kapoor will say he was deceived. How does that sound to you, Siddharth Varadarajan? Food for thought. Think about it. And by the way, Mr. Varadarajan, do you support my demand that only Indian citizens should be in any senior position, in any editorial capacity, in any Indian news organization? I'd love to hear from you on that. On the other side, viewers, the ghastly language used about Khushbu. She's going to hit back live on the show.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है, पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass-comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है, पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
They are a whole new breed. One is a hybrid by nature, a silent predator. The other is raring for an adventure, a fierce hunter. The new breed rises above all others. A new breed of SUVs, the advanced Grand Vitara, rule every road.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है, पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
The Rajasthan State Commission for Women has taken cognizance of reports that minor girls in districts of Rajasthan, particularly Bhilwara, are being sold on stamp paper. A notice has been issued to the Director General of Police and Bhilwara Collector. An immediate action with a factual report sought in 7 days. Meanwhile, the BJP has slammed the Gehlot government.
21वीं सदी में ऐसा कोई रिपोर्ट आए जिसमें कहा जाए कि बच्चों की नीलामी हो रही है, बेटियों की नीलामी हो रही है, माँ के साथ शोषण हो रहा है, तो राजस्थान सरकार कैसे चुप रह सकती है? इस पर क्या कार्रवाई हुई? अभी तक कार्रवाई क्यों नहीं हुई? कौन है ये लोग? और राजस्थान में लगातार क्यों इस प्रकार की घटनाएं बढ़ती जा रही है? महिलाएं वहां क्यों असुरक्षित है? और कांग्रेस नेतृत्व क्यों चुप है? ऐसा लगता है कि राजस्थान सरकार जो है अपने संवैधानिक शपथ को भूल गई है। राजस्थान सरकार जो है वो काम नहीं करना चाहती, केवल राजनीति करना चाहती है। और इस संदेश से ये जो न्यूज रिपोर्ट आई है, इससे ये चिंता बढ़ रही है।
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal writes to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, requests inclusion of photos of Hindu goddess Lakshmi and Hindu god Ganesha on currency notes. In his letter, he stressed he has made an appeal on behalf of 130 crore Indians.
भाजपा और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी और हमारे मुख्यमंत्री दिल्ली केजरीवाल जी की कुंडली मिलाई जाए तो उसमें 24 ग्रह होते हैं और 24 एक दूसरे से मिलते जुलते नजर आएंगे। इससे ज्यादा मिलती जुलती कुंडली किसी की नहीं होती। दोनों बोलेंगे, करेंगे कुछ।
BSF has foiled an attempt of Pakistan to smuggle weapons into the Indian territory and have recovered a huge cache of arms and ammunition in the Firozpur sector. It was yesterday evening at around 7 in the evening when the BSF troops that were deployed in the forward area saw a suspected bag, and upon the search they have recovered 3 AK-47 rifles along with the 6 magazines. 3 AK mini rifles, the brand of that is yet to be ascertained, along with the 5 magazines, and 3 pistols along with the 6 magazines have been recovered. The Border Security Force has also recovered a huge cache of ammunition with 200 rounds, 100 rounds of the AK-47 rifles and 100 rounds of the pistol. The pistol is of the Brita made that have been recovered now by the BSF. Pakistan is continuously pushing narcotics and weapons into the Punjab for gangsters and the terrorists so as to destabilize the state, and the events that are happening in the Punjab clearly hints at a larger plot of Pakistan. With Gaurav Sahani, Gursimran Singh for Republic Media Network.
The NHRC on Thursday issued a notice to the Rajasthan government over reports that girls are being auctioned on stamp paper in half a dozen districts of the state, and the refusal thereof is resulting in the rape of their mothers to settle financial disputes on the diktats of caste panchayats. The National Human Rights Commission has taken suo motu cognizance of a media report in this regard.
The National Human Rights Commission has taken suo motu cognizance of the media report that in some districts of Rajasthan, the caste panchayats are very active in redressal of disputes, and especially in the matters where somebody has taken a loan and is unable to pay back the loan. So the caste panchayats force such persons to auction their daughters on stamp paper, and if they deny so, the wife of that person is subjected to sexual assault.
Across disgusting and shameful sexist rant by DMK leader on a stage. A politician called his counterparts from the BJP item. But BJP's Khushbu Sundar takes on single-handedly on this sexist leader. Big debate at 10 p.m.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है, पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाइड क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है, पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाइड क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
It's raring for adventure. A fierce hunter. The new breed rises above all others. A new breed of SUVs, the advanced Grand Vitara, rule every road.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है, पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, आग से बचाए।
The NHRC on Thursday issued a notice to the Rajasthan government over reports that girls are being auctioned on stamp paper in half a dozen districts of the state, and the refusal thereof is resulting in the rape of their mothers to settle financial disputes on the diktats of caste panchayats. The National Human Rights Commission has taken suo motu cognizance of a media report in this regard.
The National Human Rights Commission has taken suo motu cognizance of the media report that in some districts of Rajasthan, the caste panchayats are very active in redressal of disputes, and especially in the matters where somebody has taken a loan and is unable to pay back the loan. So the caste panchayats force such persons to auction their daughters on stamp paper, and if they deny so, the wife of that person is subjected to sexual assault and rape.
The Rajasthan State Commission for Women has taken cognizance of reports that minor girls in districts of Rajasthan, particularly Bhilwara, are being sold on stamp paper. A notice has been issued to the Director General of Police and Bhilwara Collector. An immediate action with a factual report sought in 7 days. Meanwhile, the BJP has slammed the Gehlot government.
21वीं सदी में ऐसा कोई रिपोर्ट आए जिसमें कहा जाए कि बच्चों की नीलामी हो रही है, बेटियों की नीलामी हो रही है, माँ के साथ शोषण हो रहा है, तो राजस्थान सरकार कैसे चुप रह सकती है? इस पे क्या कार्रवाई हुई? अभी तक कार्रवाई क्यों नहीं हुई? कौन है ये लोग? और राजस्थान में लगातार क्यों इस प्रकार की घटनाएं बढ़ती जा रही है? महिलाएं वहां क्यों असुरक्षित है? और कांग्रेस नेतृत्व क्यों चुप है? ऐसा लगता है कि राजस्थान सरकार जो है अपने संवैधानिक शपथ को भूल गई है। राजस्थान सरकार जो है वो काम नहीं करना चाहती, केवल राजनीति करना चाहती है, और इस संदेश से ये जो न्यूज रिपोर्ट आई है इससे ये चिंता बढ़ रही है।
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal writes to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, requests inclusion of photos of Hindu goddess Lakshmi and Hindu god Ganesha on currency notes. In his letter, he stressed he has made an appeal on behalf of 130 crore Indians.
भाजपा और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी और हमारे मुख्यमंत्री दिल्ली केजरीवाल जी की कुंडली मिलाई जाए तो उसमें 24 ग्रह होते हैं और 24 एक दूसरे से मिलते जुलते नजर आएंगे। इससे ज्यादा मिलती जुलती कुंडली किसी की नहीं होगी। दोनों बोलेंगे, करेंगे कुछ।
BSF has foiled an attempt of Pakistan to smuggle weapons into the Indian territory and have recovered a huge cache of arms and ammunition.
From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Arnab Goswami on The Debate at 10, powered by Greenply.
Ladies and gentlemen, there has been very vile commentary, degrading remarks, unfiltered and absolute misogyny by a DMK leader in a public setting. He has named, abused and objectified BJP leader Khushbu Sundar among others. Khushbu is hitting back and fighting back. She's joining me live tonight. She says apology is not enough. She wants this particular DMK leader sacked, and absolutely rightly so. Mr. M.K. Stalin should not be wasting any more time after these sickening comments. Let's debate.
Grave, depraved and horrifically sexist commentary by DMK spokesperson Saida Sadiq has shocked the nation.
இதுல வேற இந்த நாலு நடிகை ஒருத்தர் இருக்கிறாளுங்கல்ல பேர் வர மாட்டேங்குதே குசுப்பு, நமிதா, முன்னோட்டிக்கிறாள் யாரு, காயத்ரி ரகுராமன், அப்புறம் இந்த கௌதமின்னு ஒருத்தி. நாங்களும் வடசல்ல கட்சி வளர்த்தோம். யார் யார் வச்சு வளர்த்தோம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா, அந்த காலத்துல இருந்து அந்த சீதாபதில இருந்து டிஆர் பால்ல இருந்து அந்த பல்ராமன்ல இருந்து இன்னைக்கு எங்க எங்க அண்ணன் இளையாறுனா வரைக்கும் இங்க திமுக வளர்த்துட்டு இருக்காங்க இந்த மாவட்டத்துல. ஆனா பிஜேபி இருக்கிற தலைவரா பாத்தீங்கன்னா 4 ஆயிட்டாங்க. இதுல ஒருத்தி சொல்ற அந்த குஷ்புன்னு ஒருத்தி இப்படி தலையை கையில தூக்கிட்டு தாமரை மலர்ந்தே தீரும் தமிழ்நாட்டில். நான் தான் சொன்னேன், அமித்ஷா தலையிலே மயிர் முளைத்தாலும் முளைக்குமே தவிர தமிழ்நாட்டில் தாமரை மலராதினை புரிந்து கொள்ளது. யார்கிட்ட கதை விடுறீங்க?
Hear how he repeats the item insult and targets BJP leader Khushbu with degrading innuendo.
நீ எல்லாம் ஒரு ஆளு, எங்க அண்ணன் எத்தனை முறை இளையரான குஷ்பு போடுகிறார் தெரியுமா? கூட்டத்தை இருங்க, அவங்க திமுக இருந்தாங்க 5-6 முறை இதே எங்க அண்ணன் இளையரானா ராயபுரத்துல குஷ்பு கூட்டம் போட்டாரு. நீங்க வம்பளை மாட்டி விட்டுறீங்க போல. இது இப்ப இருக்குப்பா, ஏற்கனவே யூடியூப் சேனல்காரே தாலி அத்துனுக்கடா. அந்த மாதிரி திமுக இருந்ததா இல்லையா? இருந்ததா? அண்ணன் கூட்டம் போட்டுக்கிறார்.
Now the BJP leader Khushbu Sundar is taking the misogyny and fighting back.
The message has to be sent, and this is what I'm asking the CM. What is stopping him? Probably it does not make a difference to him. It's just that we talk about women empowerment and let a man come and insult a woman and go, and it's fine for him. And that is why I say let anyone speak one word about any women in DMK's family, and let me see if this is how CM is going to react to it.
DMK MP Kanimoi has apologized, but the fact remains, the DMK is yet to sack the sexist Neta. The sexist commentary has gone on for far too long.
जैसे नहीं है क्या उसका नाम, क्या उसका नाम लो, आप तो उसको मेरे से ज्यादा पहचानते हैं. आपको तो मुझे पहले ही सावधान कर देना चाहिए था. ये क्या आइटम है,
उत्तर प्रदेश वालों, हिंदुस्तान वालों, उसकी असलियत समझने में आपको 17 बरस लगे. मैं 17 दिन में पहचान गया कि इनके नीचे
ये तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी का दुर्भाग्य है कि उनके पार्टी में खुरदुरु चेहरे हैं, बड़े ऐसे चेहरे हैं जिनको लोग नापसंद करते हैं. तो इसका हम क्या करें? तो एक हेमा मालिनी है बेचारी, उसको जगह जगह वो नृत्य कराते रहते हैं, शास्त्रीय नृत्य, उसी का उपयोग करते हैं. एक ही महिला है हेमा मालिनी, उसको भी जगह जगह शास्त्रीय नृत्य करा के वोट कमाने की कोशिश करते हैं.
It is time to shame and sack the sexists. Let's debate.
Khushbu Sundar, BJP leader, is with us. Also with us this evening is Pratibha Prahlad, renowned artist and activist, and Suresh Kochatil, political analyst, Advaita Kala, well-known author and writer, Bhavna Ramanna, supports the Congress and supports the Congress combination with the DMK, SS Balaji, spokesperson of the DMK Alliance, VCK, Professor Rekha Rao from Hyderabad, and Vijay Krishna from Chennai. Mr. Balaji, Khushbu is with us today. And
Arnab, you're not very clear to me. Can you ask them to increase the volume? It's very low.
Can you hear me, Khushbu? Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Before I come to you, I'm just giving an opportunity, Khushbu, with your permission, to Mr. SS Balaji, who's the spokesperson of the VCK, to take the first question. Why is this person not being sacked from the party? Why are you not doing a morcha or a march in the middle of Chennai demanding his sacking?
First and foremost, I express my strong condemnation against the person who had abused Sister Khushbu, and this is really intolerable. And a few minutes back, I was just watching your program. I saw the title is Sack the Sexist. So I thought you would be picking up this debate with regard to a person who is the state vice president of BJP, who had yesterday made very abusive remarks on the actress Nayanthara, and who had talked very in a very unpleasant manner. But unfortunately, you are at no point of time or at any juncture, I don't endorse or by any way I don't support this particular person whom you are talking about. Even Khushbu knows better about the stature and status of that particular person in that political party, because she has also been in that political party. And incidentally, the BJP state vice president, who was a two-time MP and also the deputy speaker of the Tamil Nadu Assembly, he is coming up with very indecent remarks about women. So this has to be even taken up to that party, BJP. They will also have to act with regard to the comments of VP Doraisamy. And coming back to this issue, this is, as I said earlier, this is intolerable. But I really pity, because though I differ in most of the views of you, Mr. Arnab, I have a very high regard that you take up very key issues of this nation. But picking up a person who has the least accountability in a big party and talking about that particular person's remarks is not up to the standards of Republic TV, is my personal opinion. But we'll have to discuss about the remarks made by politicians. We'll have to discuss about the remarks.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Now you've finished speaking, huh? Advaita is on the debate.
One moment.
No.
Okay.
I want to respond. I want to respond to you. No. 1 minute. Mr. Balaji, please wait. Thank you very much. First of all, you should be ashamed of yourself for trying to normalize the statements which have been made by the DMK spokesperson.
You don't put words, okay?
I'm responding to you.
This is your
I'm responding to you. You should listen. What you have done is the classical. You need to listen. Don't you have the courage to listen to me? No. Don't you have the courage to listen to me? Are you going to run away from the debate? Because I'm going to respond back to you, and I'm going to give it back to you. Are you not going to listen to me? Because I'm going to prove you wrong on a live television show. I am asking you tonight. I have not even started saying anything, and you're already on the defensive.
People know my stature.
You are already on the defensive.
Level of thinking.
You are already on the defensive. So
not this particular person. Any person who is a perverted person like these people. Whoever it is, and whichever party he is,
Advaita is on. Advaita, mic is open.
This is the truth. You come up with that. This political person has to be sacked. Same way VP Doraisamy has to be sacked. Same way S.C. Sagar should have been sacked. Same way H. Raja should have been sacked. Everything has to happen. Why you pinpoint with one particular perverted person? You pick up all perverted person. That is my point.
Okay.
I'm not supporting anyone. I am saying
of course you're supporting.
Everyone has to be put in the same
Of course
scale.
you're supporting.
All of them should be sacked
Of
from
course
the
you're
political
supporting.
parties.
Of course you're supporting. You sound like Suresh Kalmadi when he said corruption should be removed from society before you question me.
Never I'll do it. Never I'll support such acts.
Now Khushbu is on the debate. Khushbu, first of all, remarkable patience. Remarkable patience. She has been described as an item and much worse, Advaita, by this DMK leader, who smirks and smiles and makes the kind of innuendos which I will not repeat on this program. You know what he was saying, what he was intending to say, and the innuendo out there, right? You've also heard this defensive comment from the VCK spokesperson.
Sir, I reiterate.
Would you like to respond to what he said? I felt he was trying to normalize it, Advaita. No. It is easy for you. You shout, abuse, attack, and vilify a woman, and then say somebody else vilified some other women. So unless all the vilifiers are brought on the same page, don't question me. Shame on you for that, Mr. Balaji.
If the same person goes to BJP like Khushbu did yesterday,
what nonsense? I mean, you have the person who has been abused.
You will support him.
Despicable manner.
Advaita.
She's sitting right there. You don't have one word to say to her. Instead, you pass these comments, you draw equivalence just to negate her very presence on this platform. How dare you do that? She has the courage to be here and speak about something that is so embarrassing and humiliating, not only as a woman, as a mother. How can you sit there and draw equivalence with some random people? I'm sorry. Show some respect to the person who has been insulted in this very public way. No, you, I'm sorry, sir. You were going on about your stature. I'm afraid you've shown us complete lack of stature. By not acknowledging somebody who's sitting right here. It's very wrong. It's very wrong. And this is the reason why this abuse continues. Because men like you come on these platforms and try and explain it away. And try and justify it by saying this one said it, that one said it, this is the way it is. I'm sorry, this is not the way it is, and this is not the way it's going to be. And you should actually apologize.
You people have a prejudiced attitude. This is very bad.
How dare you not acknowledge the fact that she's sitting right here?
You are in fact only
no, you
more
are,
than
you
any
are,
other
sir.
else.
I'm sorry. You should have.
You are wounding her.
Even talking on this platform, you have no business.
Where's the question of defending such perverted idiots?
You have no business even talking on this issue. I'm sorry to say, you should just stay home and watch TV or not say anything at all. That's it. You don't deserve a platform either.
Do you really know whom I'm representing?
Courage to unequivocally
I'm not representing any party.
Said on a public stage. You don't have the courage to do that. You can just sit and draw equivalence. That is your justification, and that is why you're here.
Why do you want to shift the focus? Why do you want to shift the focus?
No, I'm not shifting the focus.
Talk about all perverted people. Talk about all perverted people.
Nobody's shifting the
focus.
You are shifting
Why do you want to be
focus.
Shall I put a video of the BJP leader?
Who's sitting right here?
Will you give me permission? Will you give me permission to put the video of BP?
Address her. Address what has been said to her.
I'll display it now.
I'll display it.
So it appears to me, it appears to me that what he's trying to say, Adwaita, and Pratibha is on the debate right now, what he's trying to say, Rekha, I see your hand go up, is that the attack on Khushbu is in a way justified because some BJP leader has also used vile language in another context. So basic argument being is that women are easy targets.
Arnab,
and justifiable. That's the implication of what you're saying, Mr. Balaji.
Please don't do it. Please don't do it.
I will do it. I will ask.
You have been tainting us. You have been tainting our state. You have been tainting everything. Don't do that.
I have exposed the truth.
We are with her.
I have exposed the truth. When I say that there was a terror attack in Coimbatore, I was not tainting the state. I am putting the truth out before the people of Tamil Nadu, which your state government is trying to hide. So be careful when you use these words with me.
NIA had hit the facts.
Yeah, okay. Now, Khushbu, I would like to come to you. A lot of support across the country with people using the hashtag Khushbu Fights Back. Now, you have been subject to this even before you joined the BJP. We've known each other for some time, and I remember that, if you don't mind, in 2014, there was a misogynistic cartoon, you on television, and Karunanidhi enthusiastically remarking that he would readily agree to an alliance if you were joining the Congress. Right? Almost a decade has passed since then. Nothing seems to have changed, Khushbu. You've been working hard to establish your credentials as a mass politician, but nothing much seems to be changing in the way that you're being spoken about in these circles. What impact does it have on you?
Arnab, first and foremost, thank you to everyone across the country, especially women and people like you who have been supporting me and stood by me. I really don't know how to thank them, but from the bottom of my heart, I definitely do. I heard Mr. Balaji and I heard a few other people on different debates, how they've been trying to defend and saying that somebody has made a mistake, a very similar mistake, and so it's fine, it's justified that Khushbu has been, abused in such a manner. Balaji sir, I would like to remind you that 2005, when your party had filed cases against me, I fought 5 years single-handedly, and I went to Supreme Court and I won the cases against your party. And I stand before you today with much more courage, with much more guts, and with much more, with everything that I have, and tell you that I'm going to fight this also. I'm not going to take things lying down. What you saw in 2005, this Khushbu is 10 times more stronger and more courageous, because today my girls are 22 and 19, and I want to stand by and show them that a woman will not sit down or sit quiet when she is abused or subjected to any kind of an assault, and be a very big standing a standing personality in front of my children and tell them that this is how women have to live their life fearlessly, courageously, and fight your own battles. So do not try to tell me that what Mr. V.P. Doraiswamy said is what this is fine because he said it, so this is fine. No, this is not fine. What Mr. V.P. Doraiswamy said is about one lady, about her way of going for a surrogacy. This is where a man from DMK, the party you support, comes on air on a platform where you have a minister, the sitting minister of the current government on the same platform, and this man called me a whore. This man told me that I was a woman who's easily available. You have your sitting minister sitting there and smiling without saying or
bring him down, Khushbu only.
Shame on you and shame on your party leaders to sit through this. Shame on you. And let me remind you, you cannot take Khushbu down. You did not do in 2005 and you cannot even now, 12 years later. I am much more stronger than before. And I do not stand alone because my fight is not for me alone. It's for the women across our country who are subjected to this kind of a misogynist, sexist comments or any kind of an assault by men like you who say it's fine, it's our birthright to take a woman down because she is an object. We are not an object. We are way beyond men like you, and we know how to hit back where it hurts you the most. And this is what I'm going to do this time.
You don't have the courage to fight with H. Rajas.
Do not take me for granted. Whether it's you or any other party, do not take me for granted.
You fight with a decent man like me. You fight with those people.
Two wrongs cannot make one right.
You fight with the Raghavans.
Two wrongs cannot make one right. Remember that. A wrong is wrong. If some other leader said something, it is wrong, then this is extremely wrong. I'm sure this is how you will react if the same DMK leader, tomorrow you have a fallout with DMK, and if the same DMK leader comes back, a spokesperson comes and says that your woman in the house, your wife is a victim, your children is somebody which is easily available, or this is how they have done it, and she has been done so many times. I'm sure this is how your reaction is going to be, Mr. Balaji. This is how your party is going to react. Tomorrow if you have a fallout, this is how you're going to react.
Why do you want to be
shame on you?
Why do you want to be so hard on me for no wrong of mine? The wrongdoers are the person who is on the screen. That Sadiq is a wrongdoer. H. Raja is a wrongdoer. V.P. Doraiswamy is a wrongdoer.
Any person, they were wrong and you were wrong again today. They were wrong and you were wrong. And Mr. Balaji, do not forget, I remember how I was insulted by you and your party in 2005. There was a donkey placed outside my house with a placard of my name when my girl was just 5 years old. I couldn't take my daughter who was suffering from dengue to the hospital because you people were standing outside my house. I have not forgotten anything. I haven't forgotten anything, Mr. Balaji.
You don't have
remember that.
You have a common yardstick.
No. 1 minute, Mr. Balaji. Mr. Balaji, now pull back. Pull back,
there is
Mr.
a limit.
Balaji, and take my question. Wait a minute, Khushbu. Mr. Balaji, you've spoken a lot. You've spoken a lot, and it's time for me to say a few words right now, Mr. Balaji. Be so kind, but be quiet for a minute, please. And Mr. Balaji, what I'm asking you is hitting you hard. Good. It's meant to. Now relax.
It's never hitting
now
you.
relax. Now listen, relax. And I'm telling you something today.
You should have picked up
you have, you know something. By the way, where is Priyanka Vadra today? Bhavna Ramanna, where is Rahul Gandhi today? Where are they, Bhavna? Where is the Congress party today?
I don't know, sir. I don't know about that.
Okay, I don't know either, by the way. I just wanted to point out the hypocrisy.
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
No. I'm not supporting. I'm not here to say that I'm not here today on behalf of the Congress party, because I've not been given any kind of authority to speak on this issue by the Congress party. But then me as an actress, what I have seen is, whatever has happened with Khushbu ma'am, and then they are the people who made the temple also of hers. They were the people in Chennai who built a temple of Khushbu ma'am. She was the first one to be where the temple was built on her, because that's how pretty she was, and that's how pretty she's been always, and then she's so good everywhere, in every which manner. But then I'm supporting, what I'm saying is, yes, in politics, women have not been treated very well, I feel. But at the same time, I think celebrities are really, really targeted.
Okay, Bhavna, I'll go straight into the issue at hand.
Like.
The issue at hand is this, okay? And Khushbu, I'll be a little direct on this, since you were also direct. I appreciate that. I didn't want to dignify these people by repeating what they said, but you have said it quite clearly. The fact is, Pratibha and Professor Rekha Rao, Khushbu has been attacked with cheap sexual innuendos in a public speech. It's as direct as that, right? It's the cheapest of sexual innuendos is made about her. Publicly, Pratibha, there are thousands of people there. Khushbu said the Chief Minister was there. Khushbu, you're saying the Chief Minister was there? When
Chief Minister wasn't there. There was the minister who was in the current government, Mr. Mohan Raj. He was there.
So cabinet ministers were there. Cabinet ministers of Tamil Nadu was there. The spokesperson
was on the dais.
And he made these sexual innuendos on you, and there was raucous cheering when that was going on.
Yes.
Right? That is your point, right? And no action has been taken against this person. That's where we stand.
The minister there on the stage also did not oppose or said that you should stop. He did not offer an apology. He was sitting there and smiling. He had the smirkiest smile on his face. All the men on the dais.
Why do they make these comments, Khushbu? If I were to ask you, it's like the lowest common denominator that you can go down to. Why do they make these comments? Why do they call you these names? They called Khushbu, Namita, Gayatri, Raghuram and Gautami as items. And much worse about you.
This is to me, Arnab?
Yes, it is to you. Why is this kind of comment made?
No, the comment is made because they think it's their birthright. This men, the kind of atmosphere, the kind of environment they have been brought up in, they think it's perfectly fine to objectify a woman and it's perfectly fine to abuse her because probably they have seen their mothers and the other women in their family being subjected to this kind of sexual insults and the kind of innuendo what you've been talking about. They've been subjected to that. And the women in the household have been keeping quiet, very quietly accepting and going through this kind of an assault and torture all their lives. And these men, they're brought up in such an atmosphere where they think it's perfectly fine. And they think, especially when it comes to a very successful women like me, they think it's fine because probably we may, let it pass and not make a big hue and cry about it. They think that, and when it comes to somebody who is on a larger platform, they think that they can gain some kind of a 2-minute fame by insulting a woman. And I would like to ask them what gives them the courage or the rights to insult any woman from any platform, from any background. What right do these men have to insult or pass these kind of lowest sexual comments? I am sure the same man, I'm not going to name him because that's below my dignity, but the same man, let him comment about any woman in DMK family or the person who's sitting on your debate right now, VCK, their family, their women, and then say that, oh, I'm sorry, it was him. No, I'm sorry, I hope you don't misunderstand. It's perfectly fine, don't make a hue and cry about it because I didn't mean what I said. Let me see if this man will still sit back and keep quiet and be mute spectators. I want to know if my Chief Minister, Mr. M.K. Stalin, will be a mute spectator to this drama or if he is going to expel this person or not. And that is where I stand today. Not only the person who made the comment, but also I want an apology from the minister who was on the diet because he is public representative. Mr. Manoraj is public representative. You are the sitting minister of the ruling government. A woman is insulted. She is spoken in such a low derogatory manner, and you have this minister sitting there and smiling at it. I want him to issue an apology. I want my chief minister to give a warning to the minister and sack this man who made these comments. Sometime back there was a general body meeting of DMK and the chief minister said that I wake up in the morning with a fear because I don't know what kind of bomb is going to fall on my head. You have these people, and it's my chief minister himself who allows this to happen because he stays mum on these issues. He stays silent. He doesn't comment. He doesn't speak to the people.
Why doesn't he? Why
issue
doesn't
an
he?
apology.
Why doesn't he?
A train was delayed by 2 seconds in Japan, and the prime minister of the country issued an apology. You're a woman in your state is insulted. Your own party member insults a woman in such a derogatory manner, and I have my chief minister who is mum as if nothing has happened. It doesn't affect him.
Where did the PM go when people of Tamil Nadu died in Thoothukudi?
Sir, issue a marker thing. You don't change on a different track.
You are changing the issue.
What the issue is.
If you are going to talk as a woman, talk as a woman. If you are going to talk as a BJP spokesperson and you are going to say...
1 minute. Now I take offense. What do you mean by that? 1 second. He says if you want to talk as a woman, talk as a woman. What exactly is meant by that? How is a woman supposed to talk? 1 minute, Mr. Balaji. Keep quiet now. Enough is enough of your nonsense. What do you mean by how is a woman supposed to talk, Advaita? Pratibha, how is a woman supposed to talk? You can't handle her directness. What do you mean? You said talk like a woman. What is a woman supposed to talk like?
She has been discriminated on gender.
What is a woman supposed to talk like? What is her tone supposed to be?
Arnab, even I have a better...
No. What does he mean by talk like a woman?
I'll tell you.
What does he mean by saying talk? How is a woman supposed to talk? For God's sake, you're an incorrigible sexist too.
Arnab,
what do you mean? What is a woman supposed to talk like?
Come on, don't tell me.
What do you mean by talk like a woman?
I'll tell you.
What do you mean talk like a woman? No. Are you talking like a man?
What she said.
You're talking like a man. Advaita is talking like a woman. And Khushbu should learn to talk like a woman. What do you mean? What are you reflecting of what you are?
Sexist of Tamil Nadu. That's what he's comment.
People understand what I'm coming to say. You don't try to take.
That's your role on this.
How dare you tell her talk like a woman?
As a victim, we stand with her. If she's going to speak as a
really crazy conversation here. And viewers, you're seeing this, Pratibha. It's happening right before you. She's fighting live on television. She's being attacked live on television. And this has been going on with Khushbu for a long time, for a decade and a half. She says when her daughter was 5-year-old, more decade and a half back, she faced this. And it just doesn't stop. And today on television, someone comes and says, talk like a woman.
No, I didn't say that.
That's exactly what you meant.
Don't misquote.
Let me just talk.
Don't misquote. I said she has
Mr. Balaji, just 1 second.
Pratibha Prahlad is speaking.
Mr. Balaji, just 1 second.
You don't try to portray me. You don't do that.
Mr. Balaji, Pratibha Prahlad is speaking. Let her. Pratibha Prahlad is on the debate and Suresh Kochatil and Pratibha Prahlad are on the left. Pratibha, please.
Please listen. Yes, I know. Thank you. It infuriates me when I see this, repetitive pattern again and again and again, not just in politics, but in every sphere in our country, in every profession. And I am these are uneducated, uncultured, brutish, depraved, deranged men who go on public platforms and decry a woman and try to berate her and speak of her in the most, I can't even use the word. How can you call a woman an item in the first place? The first thing you have to do, Balaji, is to say sorry. A woman cannot be an item. Are you also an item? Are you a piece of furniture? Are you somebody who is disposable? Who are you?
Pratibha.
How can you speak about a woman's terms? You cannot do that, please. It's very, very wrong. And please listen. We have to be sensitive to language. We have to have sensitivity to language, and we have to, use language in the most effective manner. We cannot use language as and when and however you please, because language is a very powerful tool, and you have to be sensitive about how you use language and how you communicate. And especially those in public life, especially those who are talking to a huge, large public audience, they have to be sensitive to how they use language and what they're trying to say and how they communicate. You cannot talk about any woman in this manner. Never. You should never talk about it. You'd be ashamed of yourselves, all of you, collectively, whether you belong to DNK, you belong to whichever party you belong to, I don't care.
You should be, because your ally isn't sacking him.
About a woman him.
Why can't Kani Modi sack him? Tell me one thing. Tell me one thing, Suresh Kochatil. Kani Modi, she holds a party position. Why can't she sack this guy? What's making it so difficult?
That's the fun part of
Can't hear you, Mr. Kochatil.
She will not do it. Yeah. She will not do it.
Why?
You can't. She will not do it. I'll tell you what, the entire party is a private limited company at the end of the day. They just cannot do anything. Because these kind of people, I just take you back to March 25th, 1989. Jayalalitha was the leader of opposition, the first woman to hold that post. She was assaulted inside the assembly by that time, by the DMK members. And later on, a week later, when Karunanidhi was presenting the budget, Jayalalitha was again assaulted by Durai Murugan inside the assembly. Her sari was torn. You're talking of an assault on Khushbu outside. Here it happened inside the assembly, and this is how the DMK treats. This is how DMK treats women. This is how they. I'm sorry. Go back and refer to the record.
You say
it says very clearly. Yes.
People have to sit and watch.
I'm sorry. This is the way DMK treats women, and this is the way they respect. You've seen on live television how the gentlemen kind of assaulted. This is not done.
You don't have any information. You are misquoting.
I know more than you. I know more than you. No, I'm not. I'm not
wrongdoing in the assembly.
Please go refer to the assembly record.
You show me the proof. I will not appear on television. You show me the proof of
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It is. Go check the Indian Express record. Go check the
internet has all sorts of false
who tore a sari?
Just like
this kind of attitude of yours. We just saw you asking Khushbu to speak like a woman. The same person is talking about all this.
I told you don't again and again. You take my word. You take my word. You misread it. You just don't play with their words.
Yes, I'm telling you. You tell me who assaulted Jayalalitha in the assembly then? Who assaulted her? Who tore a sari then? Tell me that first. That is the more important thing. Did someone not do it? It was done. It was done by DMK. It was done by DMK.
Jayalalitha was in which party?
Karunanidhi was in the
Jayalalitha was in which party?
The budget.
Jayalalitha was in which party? 89 Jayalalitha. There are two factions in ADMK.
The sentiment coming from Mr. Balaji is the sort of sentiment I'm hearing from Mr. Balaji, though he's not saying it, Professor Rekha Rao, is if a woman is in politics, she should be ready for this. That's the kind of sentiment I'm getting from you. No, that's the sentiment I'm getting from you. What did you mean by saying she should be speaking like a woman?
You ask us, I didn't say Arnab, you have misread me.
This is the kind of comment Adhir Ranjan calls the president of the country Rashtra Patni.
Again and again, this is your tactical way.
There's no tactical way here, sir. There's a direct way. There's a direct way.
I never meant
ask him who assaulted Jayalalitha.
There's a direct way. And I want to bring in, I want to bring in Rekha Rao, who hasn't spoken at all. Rekha Rao, you've been hearing this. You see also the hurt Rekha in, she's angry, but she's also very hurt. But she's been hurt for decades now. For decades now. And I've seen this personally. It's not the first time I'm talking to Khushbu over this.
Yes, it is the dirtiest people who are giving these sorts of comments, the journalistic men in the politics, the misogynists, the language, the terminology, the objectionable language, whatever they are using against women, whether it is Khushbuji or any woman, it is unacceptable. And just apology and sorry is not enough. Strict action has to be taken, whoever it is, from whichever party they belong. I still remember, of course, Khushbuji, she had right from 15 years, she's having these problems. Here I would like to just quote one example where Sunanda Pushkar, our Sashi Tharoor's wife, someone has commented, "Wah kya larki hai, 50 crore ki girlfriend hai." This is one comment. I hope you'll remember. I'm not going to mention the name of the leader. This is one comment. And again, one more leader was there who said it is very easy for upper class people, the women from affluent families, to get promotions and all, because they apply lipstick, makeup and all, and lower class families, they never come up in life. So these are the things which is becoming very common day by day, just because just by saying apology or sorry, we are taking it. No, they have to be thrown out. And again, if you see like of Sonia Gandhi ji, whichever party she belongs, how can people call her a bar girl? No, it is not done. though she's an Italian, addressing her as a bar girl. No. If any lady who is in jeans or lipstick, they are branded as something like item or something which is not accepted. And again, there is one more episode where people were talking about Mamata Banerjee and a top leader was talking about why doesn't she wear a pant and all? The full pant, because she is in trousers. And again, when we talk about Rakhi Sawant. So in India, I think it has become, or the people, they feel, especially these male chauvinists, that it is very easy, kuch bhi bol do, and they are just out. No, it is not.
So let's set an example here. Vijay Krishna, last word. Yeah, but Vijay Krishna, why no sacking? Why are they protecting this man?
A question for me?
I would like to say at the outset, this kind of insult cannot be accepted. Recently, our Honorable Chief Minister Stalin cautioned all DMK functionaries to be cautious in the public domain with regard to their language. Despite this, if this is happening, because it is the nature of DMK, which is vehemently against women's rights, because all their life they had to fight this iron lady Purachita Laivi, who questioned this misogyny of DMK. Even Indira Gandhi was attacked in Madurai. She got injured. I know. I don't want to say the comments made by Kalenjar Karunanidhi, but I'm saying it is an insult to the acting fraternity. CM Stalin is himself an actor. His son is an actor. Karunanidhi was a writer. And it is an insult to millions of Telugus, because Tadipalli Gautami is a Telugu women linguistic minority. It is an attack on linguistic minorities. And there is no reason asking this VCK Chamcha, whose leader insulted Hindu women as prostitutes. Come on, this is the nature of this party. You are asking a VCK spokesperson about women empowerment. On record, I can say. You are trying to promote enmity in Tamil Nadu. You are trying to promote enmity with regard to states of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu.
Just because you have you are given a platform, don't bluff anything, okay?
प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं है, ये सच है. हिंदी में भी बात करो. हिंदी इस देश में जन्म लिया एक भाषा है. हिंदी में समझना आपको आपत्ति आता है. ना इंडिया ना பெருமையா சொல்ற இந்தியா ஒரே நாடு. నా తమిళ பேசுறே, తెలుగులో మాట్లాడతా, కన్నడలో మాట్లాడతా, எல்லா மொழிகள் என்னுடைய மொழிகள் தான். தாய்மொழி என்னுடைய மொழி தான். தெலுங்கு மொழி என்னுடைய மொழி தான். சான்ஸ்கிரிட் என்னுடைய மொழி தான். நான் தான் தமிழன். என் தாய்மொழி தெலுங்கு. நான் பெருமையா சொல்றேன், நான் தெலுங்கன்.
I want to give Khushbu the last word. You can do your politics over and I'll give the last word to Khushbu. Khushbu's been tremendously stoic, patient and strong through this, Khushbu. Khushbu, you know, through all these conversations, there's a nationwide debate over what's been said to you. You know, you're making this demand. Some will say you're taking on every powerful force in Tamil Nadu. Right? How is your family taking this? How are your close circles taking this? How are you staying strong in the middle of this storm, Khushbu?
Arnab, whether it was more than a decade ago.
Yeah, what is what? Now, Mr. Balaji, be quiet.
I wouldn't be this strong if my family and my close friends wouldn't stand by me. I stand today with so much of conviction and guts and courage. There's for one single man behind me, and that is my husband. I have asked him not to comment or speak, and he will not do it because he thinks that it is you as a woman who have to stand up for yourself. And I stand behind you to hold you and support you. But go ahead and fight the battle. Don't leave this. And I'm going to do just that. This is what he said in 2005 when I fought some mushrooming people there who wanted to be the moral supporters or the moral policing of Tamil Nadu. Then they were just the mushrooming people, why we have one of those party leaders on our debate today. They were mushrooming then. And I say that I fought then and I'm going to fight even today. I am not going to keep quiet till this man is not sacked. I am writing to Women Commission. I have spoken to my legal team and I am going to take it forward. And I will keep fighting till I don't see my chief minister. And I say, and I want to remind Mr. Balaji that even if I defy Mr. Stalin, he remains my chief minister because this is my state.
Yeah, I agree.
Tamil Nadu is my state, and he being the chief minister of my state, I will refer to him as my chief minister. And it hurts more to see my chief minister not standing up for the women of his state who has brought so much of glory to the state. And I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to, say, oh no, I'm going to be very modest and nothing. No, I said, hell with modesty. I'm going to say I have brought immense glory as an actor to the state. As a woman, I have brought in immense eclipse to the state. So I say that I want my chief minister to stand by me, sack this man who's made these comments, and set a record saying that no other person will ever say a word. And I'm not talking about my CM alone. I'm saying across the border, across any political line, across any profession, any platform, men have to get one message clear. Time has come. Women are not going to sit back and take all that you give us. We know how to hit back. We are much stronger and courageous than these men think we are. And it's like Margaret Thatcher said, women are like a tea bag. Put them in a hot cup of tea, water, and you know what she is capable of doing. So here we are, and here I am. I'm going to fight back. You don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know what kind of a person, what kind of a tigress you're dealing with. And here I am. I'm going to fight back. But I just hope, and I really, really expect my chief minister to speak and expel this man and say that I'm here to protect the women of my state. I'm just waiting for that. Let me see if my chief minister stands by me or lets me down. That is what I want to see now.
Absolutely. And if he doesn't, then he's extremely weak and indecisive. Let's see what he does. I thank you, and we stand with you, Khushbu. Kudos to you and your family. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Khushbu. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, former US President Donald Trump has promised he will build a Hindu Holocaust memorial in Washington, D.C. Now, this is an important acknowledgement of the atrocities Hindus have faced. Sparks a new debate. Let's debate.
Speaking at the Republican Hindu Coalition's 2022 Diwali celebration in South Florida, Donald Trump made this announcement.
We had support from the Hindu population, the great Hindu people both times, and great support from India, people from India. I fully endorse the idea of building a Hindu Holocaust memorial in D.C. I totally do. I mean, I think it's time.
While those 15,000 kilometers away are talking about a Hindu Holocaust memorial, many within don't want to acknowledge the atrocities. The pseudos won't talk about what is happening in Afghanistan. They won't talk about what is happening in Bangladesh. And they certainly won't talk about what happened in Kashmir in 1989. It's going to be 33 years of the Kashmiri Pandit exodus, and some are launching a movement.
We are launching a movement, a global movement to make the world aware of how Hindu genocide is still, even now, taking lives, disrupting lives, and causing untold misery to innocent people.
The list of atrocities cannot be ignored, dismissed, and brushed aside. From the Noakhali riots to beyond, a semblance of justice is must. It's time to stop denying the Hindu genocide truth. Let's debate.
We have Shalabh Kumar of the Republican Hindu Coalition and Sushil Pandit, both with us here today. And we have with us Mohammad Zishan and Kamru Chaudhary. Mr. Shalabh Kumar, now Trump needs all the political support he can. So is this just a political move? Because there is all this speculation that while he's under attack internally, he's fighting back, so he's going to get every vote bank through. Is he sincere about this? Is it just a political statement? And what is the significance of his statement that he endorses the idea of building a Hindu Holocaust memorial in Washington, D.C.?
I have spent a lot of time with President Trump in the last 6 months, and you know me fairly well. I'm always for policy, and we have been discussing this idea of Hindu Holocaust Memorial. You know, the Republican Hindu Coalition is patterned after Republican Jewish Coalition, and the Jewish people in the world, lots less than overall Hindus. You know, there are only 15 million Jewish people in the world, 5.5 million in America, and they are bound together. Whether it's Democrat or Republican, they stay together because of the Holocaust. And every Jewish child which is born and raised knows of the Hindu Holocaust, whereas Hindus, I mean, they know of the Jewish Holocaust. With respect to Hindus, you know, my own grandchildren, they don't know too much about what happened to Hindus since year 1100. You know, 600-700, the minimum number which is talked about is 50 million. It was anywhere from 50 million to 100 million people, and it continues on. It's radical Islam to West is known only last 50 years, but it has been in India for 700-800 years. And so we have been discussing that, and I had this idea that is actually more for the Hindu children, that they should be educated on this. The people, second generation, third generation people in the United States who are don't know much about it, and they should be educated on this. And that's where the idea came from. RSC brought this idea, and actually it's trademarked, copyrighted. It's going to be built in between the White House and Capitol Hill. We expect 500,000 visitors every year. It's going to be about a $100 million project. RSC Kumar family has put in the seed money. I have located 3 properties, and so President and I have been discussing that, and he thinks it's a great idea. And so, you know, in this last Diwali celebration, I brought it up to him, and whether he would want to talk about it, he says, why not?
Is he going to be the first or the only global political personality to talk about this, Sushil?
No, Arnab, we will have global icons from every region of the world to put this up at the global level, at the highest level, for acknowledgement and for redressal. It is not just in the medieval ages. This Hindu genocide is happening as we talk. Hindus are at the receiving end in Pakistan. Their demography, their population has collapsed below 1.5%. It used to be more than 21% in 1951. There are only 42 Hindu Sikhs left in Afghanistan. Last 25th of September, 52 of them were dispatched to India. Hindu demography has collapsed in Bangladesh to below 8%. It used to be 31% in the census of 1951. More than 600 Hindus disappear every day in Bangladesh. More than 1,000 girls in early teens are picked up, abducted, and forcibly married to Muslims in Pakistan. Hindus are being driven out of their homes in India, in independent India, in Kashmir, in Bengal, in Assam, in several parts of our geography, including Kerala.
When this, so far there's been this dismantle Hindutva lobby. For them, Zishan, this is going to be very difficult to accept. But the Hindu Holocaust is a reality. The Mirpur massacre is a reality. The Chitpavan massacre is a reality, right? The Vandhama massacre is a reality, right? The Nandi Marg massacre is a reality. The Sangrampura massacre is a reality. The Bijon Setu massacre is a reality. So Kamru, so the sooner this is acknowledged, the better it is, isn't it? Otherwise, it's going to be a very one-sided conversation. Hindus have been victims.
Whether the co-panelists of this debate or the viewers of your channel will agree on this fact that giving special focus to build a structure related to a particular community will diminish the threat to a particular community. I don't know about this. Building a
It'll be a reminder, Zishan.
If it can diminish Hindu phobia.
But it will be a reminder, won't it?
Can say.
Isn't it important to serve as a reminder?
It is a memorial. No, I don't have any problem with Mr. Donald Trump.
No, it has to be stopped, Arnab. It is ongoing.
Memorial. But what fault the other minorities of United States have done?
It continues.
What fault is of the Jewish of United States? What fault is the Muslims of the United States? Why Mr. Trump won't assure anything for the other minority communities of United States?
Shalabh Kumar,
they
quick response.
The same population equivalent to Hindu community in United States.
Okay, Shalabh is responding to you, Zishan. I have limited time. Shalabh.
I do not know of a Muslim massacre. I mean, this is on the record. 1971, the Razakars. You know, there was a cable from U.S. Embassy in Pakistan at that time that the river, it's all red. It's all red. There was that, you know, I mean, my family comes from Kashmir, a fair amount of my family. In 1947, I was in Amritsar, Lahore, trains coming from Lahore. It's so much of a known factor. People who want to study history, they will tell you that there were sultans in India that required 100,000.
We'll get a quick word from Kamru.
Every year. 1 lakh heads every year. Okay. Now, if there are, yes, there is a, of course, there is a.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me come in, please. Let me. We understood your point. We read all your articles. Thank you, sir. Shalabh Kumarji, I have a great respect for you, the gentleman that you are. You have collected $1 million for the Trump election campaign. That also I know. But somehow or the other, we, as Indians, we feel that you are working with an agenda, a fixed agenda. You know, why I said it once again with the respect, you know, because Bangladesh war, what happened in 1971, let me just point out few facts, was not against a particular community that you call it as Hindus. It was against the Bengalis of East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, where Hindus as well as Muslims suffered out there. Of course, the Hindus suffered more because there was a partition crisis out there. First point. Second point, wasn't Trump the same person who is being investigated by the US authorities for treason, for staging coup against his own government? Then this is the same person who said 2020 election was rigged, COVID vaccines are a fraud, masks never worked. Now, you see the connection out here. When Havans were organized in India for the victory of
I think you're trying to target Trump. All that Trump has done is sparked a conversation, and I think that should be welcomed. I think we'll take this debate forward another time. We've had the initial comments, and before I wrap up, I have some little bit of breaking news pictures coming in of an Indigo flight 6C2131, I'm told, Delhi to Bangalore, which has been grounded at Delhi airport after a suspected spark in the aircraft. Do I have the visuals on screen? Does our production team have the visuals on the screen? We just got this news right now. Shall we run the pictures or close the show? Okay, I'm told 10 seconds. I want to repeat once again. This news just came in. Indigo flight 6C2131, Delhi to Bangalore, grounded at Delhi airport after a suspected spark in the aircraft. And we'll get you more details on that the moment we can. I think we're cutting to the pictures, latest pictures there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. That's those are the pictures. If you can make out breaking news story, we'll get a clearer visual in some time. And that's it. That's it for this evening. And I shall see you after the weekend. Thanks for watching. Good night and goodbye.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
It's raring for adventure. A fierce hunter. The new breed rises above all others. A new breed of SUVs, the advanced Grand Vitara, rule every road.
BSF has foiled an attempt of Pakistan to smuggle weapons into the Indian territory and have recovered a huge cache of arms and ammunition in the Firozpur sector. It was yesterday evening at around 7 in the evening when the BSF troops that were deployed in the forward area saw a suspected bag, and upon the search they have recovered 3 AK-47 rifles along with the 6 magazines. 3 AK mini rifles, the brand of that is yet to be ascertained, along with the 5 magazines, and 3 pistols along with the 6 magazines have been recovered. The Border Security Force has also recovered a huge cache of ammunition with 200 rounds, 100 rounds of the AK-47 rifles and 100 rounds of the pistol. The pistol is of the Brita